format, which is basically the background you see in that I'm in, whenever you see me like this, I am live. So if you see this video and it pops up on your screen, I'm live right now. The video will be posted after I get it finished, but I am live right now. So if you want to talk to me or participate, do anything you'd like, I'd like to hear from you, because I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin. Because a lot of people, I think, are a little bit disappointed because we got the ETFs 10 years in the making. We have enormous retail sales going on. You know, you got BlackRock Salesforce, you've got all the ETFs. I think there are 11 of them. Their entire sales forces right now are out pushing the Bitcoin ETF for the first time to people that have, you know, pension funds, that have, you know, want to put it into their retirement accounts. I mean, this is stuff they could never do before. So everybody's going, wow, you know, Bitcoin's really got, it's really should be smoking at this point. And right now we're trading flat. It's worth 42,600. I'll bring it up on the screen right now. But I want to address that. I want to change my screen here in a second or two. But I want to address what's going on with Bitcoin and why you need to be a little bit careful about Ethereum. And I want to show you a direct example of why you need to be a little bit careful of Ethereum and not think that, oh, Bitcoin went up, it's not going to do much more, even though the halving and everything's going on. I still want to get out, because it was, you know, what is always a thing, buy the rumor, sell the news. Now the news has been released. It's time to get out of Bitcoin and get into something else, because Bitcoin has a lot of potential right now. In fact, I think Bitcoin is just really, you're just starting to see the introductory phases of this bull run that we're getting ready to go into. But anyway, let's look at this real quick, because let's talk about why Bitcoin is trading flat right now. What happened after the ETF? And actually, I want to talk about the ETF. As I talked before, the Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, Chairman Gensler, they brought it forward in such a really negative way. First, oh, we approved it. Now we didn't approve it. A lot of people were discounting that, saying, oh, that was no big deal. It was only a day difference. But what it did is it spooked the market. And when that spooked the market, it did create that some of this, and we saw it almost go to 50,000, I think 48,000, a few hundred, almost 49,000. It might have topped 49, I'm not sure. But that was the initial surge that we should have had right after the ETF was announced. But instead of the way the Security and Exchange Commission announced it, it got really done poorly. It was a very, very, very nefarious way of doing. And if you don't know what the word nefarious is an evil way of doing it. Kind of like, we'll let this happen, but we're not going to let it happen in a way that it should happen, the way it normally happens, the way something that's coming public for the first time usually trades, with a lot of anticipation and a little bit of a market jump, or a market, you know, because a lot of times things are privately held. You got to go through all your phases of going public. And then when you go public, then it's the big day and it gets announced and everybody happens and starts trading. And usually there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of built up buying pressure, and it jumps immediately. Well, this didn't happen that way because of the way Gensler handled it, or the way the SEC handled it. So anyway, let's talk about where we're at today. And let's talk about what is going on with Bitcoin as of we speak right now, which is January 17th, about 10 o'clock in the evening here in San Diego, California, on the West Coast. And if you, like I say, I probably start trying to do these live almost every night. I haven't been doing them because I've been kind of sitting back to see what's happening. So you're looking at the price of Bitcoin right now, which is 42,686. And of course, Bitcoin, if you look at the price, I mean, we were almost, let me look at the 7 days. We were almost at 50 grand, just a hair off of $50,000 right here at 48,000. So, and then it dropped back down. So here is it, the ETF started trading. Let's go 14 days out. So let's take a look at what's happened. And actually, if you look at what's happening, we're just going back to a few days before the ETF got announced. So January 8th, we were at about 43,000, about where we're at, just about identical, just a little bit less than where we're at right now. This is the bump during the ETF. And here's where it went to the day after the ETF. Yeah, January 11th at 48,400. I was calling 50,000, but it got real close. And of course, then after that, it started dropping. So what happened? Why did it start dropping? Well, I'm going to tell you why it started dropping. It started dropping because even though we had the ETF, you know, you got to realize that it's being introduced to a whole new group of investors and a whole new group of people that are pushing it. The sales forces for BlackRock and Grayscale and all these other different ETFs, they're pushing it. ARK, they're all pushing this, so they've got to get familiar with the product, and then they got to start calling clients. You know, I used to be a stockbroker, so I know what that's like. You got a new product, you want to get it out there to the client, especially if it's something new like this. Jump in before everybody else jumps in and get ahead of the game. So they're in the initial phases of that. Actually, we're only been in this a few days, so it's been 7 days out since the ETF. So the sales forces are selling a ton of the ETFs, and I'll show you right here what BlackRock's done here since the ETF. So U.S. Bitcoin ETF see 4.6 billion in volume in the first day. So there was about $5 billion worth of volume in the very first day that the ETF was announced. So that's huge. But the problem with that volume is it got offset by the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the GBTC. And I'm sure people have heard this, but I want to go a little bit more into detail. So what is this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust? What it was originally launched in 2013, and it's really a proxy to buy Bitcoin. So they bought Bitcoin in a trust, and then you were allowed to buy like Bitcoin, but not really buy Bitcoin, buy the representative of Bitcoin by buying a Grayscale Trust. And this was allowing people to get around the Security and Exchange Commission and own Bitcoin. But the problem with this Bitcoin Trust, and over the last, it got announced in 2013, I think around 2020 is when institutional investors were gotten involved with it. They raised about $26 billion in Bitcoin. So they had a ton of Bitcoin. Now you got to realize these are the people that sued the Security and Exchange Commission for it to become an ETF. So they had a lot of pent up, they had a lot of buying that has been holding on to a lot of Bitcoin. So they have been helping the price of Bitcoin. So the fact that now that this has gone, public through the Security and Exchange Commission and everybody's able to buy it through a ticker symbol on a NASDAQ or wherever else it's being traded on the NASDAQ or whatever else other stock markets exchanges that it's being traded on. They were the ones that made that happen because the Grayscale Trust is the one that sued the Security and Exchange Commission. And of course, the DC Court of Appeals said there's no reason why it shouldn't be an ETF. You're already allowing it in this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is allowing you to buy it, but just kind of buy it offhanded, not buy it directly, but buy it through a kind of a third party through this trust. So they kind of ruled in the favor of Grayscale. Hey, this should be an ETF. And that's what allowed it to happen. But the problem with this is those people that held this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust now are selling it, which is pressuring Bitcoin's price down. And of course, now they're able to buy an ETF. So why would you continue to hold this and pay huge fees? I think they're over 1.5% to own this trust when you can purchase the ETF now for less than a quarter of a percent in sales commission. So it's very expensive to hold this Bitcoin Trust in comparison to holding one of the ETFs like BlackRock. So people are liquidating this Bitcoin Trust in order to buy one of the ETFs. And I'll show you what's going on with the volume on that. So here's the volume on the Bitcoin or the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And if you look here, January 10th, I'm gonna highlight it with my mouse, my cursor. So you can see on January 10th, there was 15 million. Okay, you take 15, the volume is 15 million times whatever the price was at that day. Today it's $37.99. So that was January 10th wasn't the big day because of course they had the really weird way of announcing it. But the big day came the day after. They sold 56,349,100. That's almost, that's 2.1, I figured it out already. That's $2.1 billion got sold the first day of this Bitcoin Grayscale Trust. So that got absorbed real quickly by BlackRock and these other people. But the problem is they bought about 4 billion, 2 billion got sold through the Bitcoin Trust. But the other problem was you had a lot of people playing this ETF day as maybe leveraged, knowing that as soon as the announcement got made, the price of Bitcoin was going up. So you had that selling going on too. So you had the leveraged sale of the people that held Bitcoin, knowing that the trust was the ETF announcement was going to make the price go up. You had the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust selling over 2 billion. And and all that's offset it to make it pretty much stay where it's at right now, which is it hasn't really risen much. But look at this. Okay, this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has about 2.26 billion Bitcoin tied up. The very first day, they sold 2.1 billion, and look what they've sold since that time: 47 million, 26 million, 36 million. I've added it all up, and they've sold over 7 billion of their 26 billion. So they got about 20 billion left. So if you figure they sell about 2 billion a day for the next 10 days, the Bitcoin scale trust selling should be gone. So by the end of January, we should have no more people. And I think this will start to drop off. See, the very first day, the second day after the ETF got announced, 56 million shares got sold, then 47, 26, 36. And I don't know how much got sold today. Let me check and see if I got that pulled up. So today, that's Bitcoin. I think today, let me see if it gives us today's amount that got sold. Where was that at? January 17th. Yeah, that is today. So today is 36 million shares got sold. So yeah, we saw a huge day. This is the biggest day. That's about a little over 2 billion. In fact, I think it's close to 2.1 billion. The very first day that we got the true announcement, because the announcement didn't come to the 11th, because the 10th, they was all screwed up. So the 11th was the very first day of selling, so that they'd sold 2.1 billion. And of course, the rest of the days, that's probably close to 2 billion. That's a little over a billion and a half. So yeah, they're slowly getting rid of this stuff, and it's probably going about roughly $1 to $2 billion a day. They got probably about 20 billion left. So you figure in about 10 days, this is going to be gone. So when this gets gone, and then the ETF sales force starts to take off and the advertising starts to take off, it's going to be nothing but net buyers instead of offset between sellers and buyers. So you just got to hang on a few more days, and you're going to see Bitcoin probably rise over 50,000. So I would not be in the least bit worried about it. Plus, what we have going on right now is we have Coinbase is in court right now trying to defend the fact that they're offering non-securities or securities. Bitcoin's a non-security. Security is something that has to be registered. So Coinbase is trying to fight the SEC right now in court. The trial was today, and the judge is just taking her, I think it's a woman, her time to write her opinion on it. But everybody I've been reading says it's very favorable towards Coinbase. So if Coinbase is allowed to trade these tokens, then Coinbase, that'll help the market too, because the Coinbase is a huge custodian for Bitcoin. So if Grayscale gets out of their if Coinbase gets out of their problems with the Security and Exchange Commission, that's going to help the price too. So I figure by the end of the month, it's the 17th today, by the end of the month, we should see some big, huge increases in the Bitcoin price. But I want to show everyone something real quickly before I forget, because I want to show everybody this. First of all, I do this every day myself. But if you just want to go to Bubbles, it's real easy to remember. Bubbles. Crypto. Okay, just go to this site every day, because it gives you a real nice visual of what's going on in the altcoin market and the Bitcoin market. So these are all the tokens out there. And of course, you see Hex is up there really high. Hex is something, it's up there every day, like 8, 9, 10, 20%. And it has to do with Richard Hart. If you don't know who he is, Google Richard Hart and Hex, because he's had this token for quite some time. I'll talk about that in a second. But if you look at this, where's Bitcoin at right here in all this? You got to look kind of closely, because you'll miss them. Ethereum's down 1.4%. I'm surprised. I thought Ethereum would have a better day today. Where's some other ones that EOS? Where's the EOS at? I'm looking for EOS, because we got involved with the cryptos. There's Cake. I own Cake. It's down. It's Pancake Swap is what it is. But look at all these are altcoins except for the one, which is Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin at? I'm trying to look for Bitcoin. If it's green, it's large. If the circle's smaller, then they've lost money that day. So I'm looking for BTC. Where's BTC? There's EOS. EOS is off slightly today, 0.5%. Dogecoin is off a little bit. Dogecoin is Shiba coin, which is a meme coin's off a little bit. I'm looking for, but it's real easy. I like to watch this because you get an overall feel for the market. And all the things, all the XRP is down a little bit. So all those coins that you're always being talked to, all the other YouTubers are talking about all day. Oh, you got to buy some Solana. This is a very good representation, a great way to look at Solana and find out what Solana's doing. I'm still looking for BTC. Oh, okay, Bitcoin is, maybe I'm looking for the wrong one. I should be looking for green because it is up right now a little bit. Where is BTC? I can't find it. It's on here someplace. I'll find it in a second. Bitcoin is on here too. If I found everything but Bitcoin. But anyway, this changes all the time. You can do it by the hourly. You can do it by let me see what the hourly is. You can do it by the day. And it moves around. It's kind of, we can do it by the week. Before you get all excited, because if I show you this and you see Hex up 16% in the month and go out and buy Hex, you need to understand the altcoin market, because I got involved with cryptocurrency through the altcoins, mainly EOS. And altcoin market is a lot different than Bitcoin. Now there's BTC is up down 7.9 for the week. Yeah, so Bitcoin's actually dropped 7.9% after the ETF. So exchange traded funds. So that's something people weren't expecting. And it isn't really sell the news. I mean, buy the rumor, sell the news, because we haven't gone down that much. We've only gone down what we were up a few days ago. So, I mean, we're back down to what we were in January. So we lost 2 days worth of value. So it's not really down that much. But this is sushi is up. But before you buy something like Hex, be prepared, because a guy like Michael or Hart, can't think of his first name now. Is it Mike Hart? No, it's not Mike Hart. Richard Hart. If you buy Richard Hart's Hex, or the other one he has that's really good is that's always taken off, is Pulse. So right here, you see Pulse at 40% up today, or up this week. Hex is up 16%. The reason these two are up so much is because Richard Hart owns all the tokens. So this is a very thinly traded market. He has probably 99, I'm not sure, I'm just guessing, but it probably has 99% of the tokens. So when he holds on, because the reason I'm saying 99%, because there's probably 1 trillion tokens, I'm guessing, but there could be, I'm not sure, but there's certainly a lot of tokens out there for Pulse and Hex. Billions of tokens. EOS has over 1 billion tokens. Pulse and Hex has billions of tokens. And it's traded on the Ethereum blockchain. Where actually, so you have to have the Ethereum wallet, which is a very difficult wallet to use. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Actually, I'm not going to pull up the Ethereum wallet. I'm going to pull up another one. But anyway, let's talk about these two are being held by a guy that has almost all the tokens. So what he does is he keeps his tokens, and probably right now he's running from the Fed, so he's not trading because he doesn't want to let them know where he's at. But anyway, you could see these go up, but the problem is selling and getting any kind of liquidity, because nobody's selling because he has all the tokens. So it just keeps running up the price, but nobody's selling. You can't sell because there's no market for it. So yeah, it goes up 40, 50% a day, or 20% a day, but it's a thinly traded market, and he holds all the tokens. So before you start thinking that's a way to go, think again, because a guy like Richard Hart controls the market. But anyway, I want to show you why I say Ethereum isn't what everybody thinks it is, because I'm going to pull up a wallet that I just opened here not too long ago. Let me get rid of am I on the right thing? Yeah, I'm on the right thing. Okay, here's a wallet that I set up a little bit ago. And this is an Ethereum wallet based on the Ethereum blockchain. It's called Infinity Wallet. I'm not recommending it. I'm not saying buy it. I'm not saying put money on it, but I just did this for an example. So I'm going to go to my dashboard. Actually, I'm screwed up because too many, but maybe I can get through it because I can't see it very well because I got the other one in front of me. So I'm going to go to my wallet. This is my wallet. This is my Infinity wallet. So you can see I have $168.70 in this wallet. And I have $109 in Pancake Swap. And I have $56 in USD, US dollar coin. You know, I have it in a token, $56. But let's just say, and this is running on the Ethereum blockchain. This wallet is on Ethereum, and most of these tokens are Ethereum. Let's just say I got $55 worth of USD, and I want to swap it for of Aave, or let's say I want to swap it for anything. Let's just say I want to swap it for Ethereum. So I'm going to hit right here. It says send, receive, and swap. I'm going to swap my USD coin for Ethereum. Okay. So here's my Ethereum. So I have $55 in USD coin. That's real cash. And I'm going to swap it for 0.57, or actually it's 0.00002251 Ethereum. And I'm going to make this swap. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to show you live what happens when I try to do this on the Ethereum blockchain. So I'm going to go max. I'm going to sell all my USD coin. And I'm going to buy Ethereum. And I go down here, I do an exchange. See, average processing time is 5 to 30 minutes. Let me tell you, it's more like 30 than it is 5 because I've done a lot of transactions on this. What happens? Not enough ETH balance to pay the fee. So I can't even do a $55 transaction on Ethereum to even buy $50. So I can't do a small transaction on the Ethereum blockchain because it costs too much in gas fees. I can't even do a $52. I'd have to add way more money. Let's say I added $150. I'm not going to do that, but I could do that maybe tomorrow and see if that goes through. But so much of the problem with Ethereum, and the thing people don't understand about Ethereum, is that it's expensive to do business on. So I can't even do a $50 transaction. That's not enough money to do business on the Ethereum blockchain because it all goes to fees. I can't even buy any Ethereum. So I can't own Ethereum right now because the price to do any kind of transaction on Ethereum is too expensive. And that's why Ethereum has a long way to go, my friends. Anybody that's pushing Ethereum, I heard this Raul guy today pushing Ethereum. He says, oh no, now we got to get the Ethereum ETF coming up and that's going to be bigger than the Bitcoin. They don't understand altcoins. Now, I will tell you this. I'm not like a Max Kaiser, and I'm not like all these people. I'm not like a Michael Saylor. He thinks all altcoins are shit coins. They are sadly mistaken. And I will tell you why they're sadly mistaken is because BlackRock, Larry Fink, who controls about $11 trillion in all of his funds, one of the biggest movers in the world. If you want to know who the real president of the United States is, probably Larry Fink, not Joe Biden. And I don't know about Trump, what's going on with him. He's just every day gets weirder with that guy. But anyway, Larry Fink come out and said that we are tokenizing everything. Everything's going to be tokenized. You can bet your bottom dollar that everything will be tokenized. It won't be tokenized through Bitcoin. It'll have to be tokenized through one of these tokens. So one of these tokens that you're looking at in this bubble, if I can get back to it, is going to be that one token, those tokens, one of these tokens, it was what they're going to use to tokenize the world. Could be EOS, it could be Ethereum, it could be any of these. But right now, Ethereum's way too expensive to operate on until they get that thing figured out. And it's too expensive. But some of these tokens are going to be involved. And the reason why it's got to be one of these tokens and not Bitcoin is because these tokens have smart contract platforms. So the only way to tokenize all assets is you got to be on a smart token platform. This is something I don't think Michael Saylor understands. I don't think this is something that anybody understands. I do believe Fink understands it. But I don't think anybody else understands it. I don't know if Gensler understands it. Maybe they don't. But you've got to run... The world is going to run on one of these smart contract platforms. That's why we were all excited about EOS. The one thing I will tell you about tokens is that it never happens as quickly as you think it's going to happen. Just like with Bitcoin. I mean, I didn't think when we got Bitcoin ETF that we would have any kind of hiccup in the market. I thought the thing would go right to 50 grand. But obviously I didn't take into consideration that the Grayscale Trust was going to sell tokens. I didn't take into consideration a lot of people were playing the market just for that one event. So there was just this little lull in the market. So we got to wait and be a little bit patient for it to go back up to 50,000. Well, now we're going to have to be a little patient with Ethereum and some of these other tokens until they get it figured out enough to where they can actually tokenize a lot of assets. And right now we don't have that. So one of these tokens is really going to be, and I think it's probably going to be Ethereum, that they'll probably end up using as a tokenization of the world. Everything in the world is going to get placed on the blockchain and be done through Ethereum. And a lot of these others that tokens that you're looking at right now are going to be part of that. So if you can pick the winners out of this bunch of bubbles, you're going to be right in here is the next Amazon. Right in here is the next, Apple computer. Right in here is the next, whatever you want to call it. It's in here someplace. I mean, everything. I mean, cake, all these, every one of these tokens represents some idea that's going to help tokenize the world. And it's not going to be done through Bitcoin. It's going to be done through one of these other. Bitcoin's going to be the store of value because Bitcoin doesn't have a smart contract platform. These do. Plus, Bitcoin is proof of work. It goes slow. These mostly have other forms of creating blocks. Like with EOS, it's proof of stake. Ethereum now has proof of stake. So these will be the blockchains that will build the world, that will run the world, where Bitcoin will be like the digital gold. But that's going to be a long time in the future. And I just showed you through that example. I showed you with that wallet that I had, how long it takes for a transaction, how expensive it is. So that if you're waiting for the ETF for Ethereum, that's not going to happen real quickly. And it's not going to be real lucrative until they get this stuff figured out, because they got a long way to go. But it will get figured out and it will happen. I guarantee you that. One of these you're looking right now, this group of bubbles that you're looking at represents trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of value sometime in the future. Bet your bottom dollar on that. So anyway, let's take a look at what people have said to me. Okay, so let's go up here. Okay, so I'm going to bring you guys up on screen. So here we go. It's hard for me to read with the bubbles. Let's get rid of the bubbles. Get rid of that. I'll just go to a blank. Get rid of ChatGPT. There we go. Okay, here we go. So just my thoughts. Have you looked into Internet Computer Protocol? I love using it. It's easy to want to only blockchains. What is that? Can I get this smaller so I can read it? Yeah, I'm not a gamer. I've never been a gamer. I'm too old for that. Games were, you know what the game was when I was a kid, or actually not even when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, it was Pong. So that's my background in gaming is Pong. I don't know if you know what Pong is. It goes back and forth. So, I guess at this small, I'm still trying to figure out this software. There we go. Okay, so just myself, if you looked into, I love using it's easy and one of the only blockchains where everything is on chain. You guys should, we're believe me, we try everything with our challenge application. And by the way, if you want to check out CHL, it's Challenge DApp, and it is in the Apple the App Store. So if you want to check out Challenge CHALLENGE, Challenge DApp DAPP, it is. Let me see if I'll just bring it up on the Challenge DApp. This is our token. This is our project. This is what we've got involved with. Challenge DApp right here. Oh, DApp Radar doesn't have, well, maybe they do have it. See, it's verifying me. So this is, of course, we don't have any volume right now because we're not really trading on exchanges. We'd love to get traded on exchanges. But this is the challenge app. Let me see if I can find some other stuff from it. This is us. So if you want to take a look at this CHL, no, this isn't us. This is Ethereum. Some other people, somebody else got challenged app. ICO. Okay, they call it ICO. So that's not it. But it's CHL. It's in the App Store. Check it out. I don't know what else I'm going to find if I keep going through this list of stuff. Google Play. I mean, not Google Play, Apple Store. Oh, here we go. This is where I should have gone to begin with. This is us. So Challenge DApp. This is what I was talking about. This is where it's at. It's in the App Store. Just go to the App Store and check it out. It's Challenged App. That's my name. I'm not the developer. I'm actually just a co-developer. My son is the one that built all this. So, and you can do all. So, I'm going to get him on here sometime and he can talk about, this is our token. This is our, and you can check it out, but just go check it out in the Apple Store. Cause it's pretty cool, man. We got some really cool stuff going on and we're just waiting. I mean, we're just waiting to build this thing out. We built it out. It's on the App Store. It's running, but we're just waiting for, we're waiting for the people to start using it. And we got about, I don't know how many, I can't tell you how many users we have. We have into the tens of thousands of users, but it just, we haven't gotten a real, really good use case for it right now. So we create challenges for people to do to earn tokens, which just right now we're in the early stages of that. But once this world gets built out and everything's on tokens, everything is tokenized, something like challenge will be huge because it'll be part of this whole economy that nobody understands right now. And nobody's gotten because it hasn't happened yet. We're still in the infancies of all this stuff. So let me see whatever other people have to say. Okay. Okay. Bring you up. Okay. Is ETF good for Bitcoin? I think so. I believe so. Because it's inevitable. You've got to get it to the, like I've just talked about challenge. Challenge works perfectly. It's in the App Store. You can use it and have a good time with it. There's a lot of people around the world that actually live off their challenge tokens. Although they trade very small increments, they make enough token money from playing the game. You're not playing the game, but actually doing tasks on challenge to where they actually, in some of these countries and in less developed countries, they actually get enough challenge tokens to support themselves in a month. And that's what we're looking to do. So people that want to go on to the app, do a challenge, get paid by somebody, tokens for those challenges, and a lot of times we give tokens away, they actually can create some stream of income to where it helps them to be able to buy some of the stuff they need to live on. So yeah, that's why I think the ETF for Bitcoin is good, is because it's gonna open up the horizons for Bitcoin. More people will get exposed to it. Now it's going to be mainstream, and it's not going to be this little group of people that are off to the side trading. And don't be, and come on, look at the price of Bitcoin. I mean, even though it got released in a really weird way, I mean, we're talking about, if you go back 90 days, it was at $30,000. So from 30,000 to 42,000, 43,000, that's a pretty nice appreciation in 90 days. So yeah, I think the ETFs help the price, and I think it's going to help the whole Bitcoin community, as well as the fact that there's a lot of people don't like it because it's going to invade people's privacy, but that's just the way the blockchain works. And that's the direction we're going in this world. But I understand the trepidations about it, not feeling uncomfortable with the fact everything's to be on the blockchain. But wait till they do this central bank digital currency. We won't be able to escape it. It's like a lot of people think that cell phones are evil and nefarious. You should never use a cell phone because it tracks you. But I go to the gym today. I mean, I can't even get on a piece of equipment because somebody's sitting on a piece of equipment using their iPhone. So, I mean, I'm sitting there waiting to use the equipment while they're sitting there on their iPhone. So people will just be gradually eased into this. And the ETF is just one way of doing that. It's just gradually easing people into this idea that everything's going to be tokenized. All assets will be on a blockchain and be able to be, and it will make our lives a lot easier. But then the alternative to that is that we will also have less privacy. But we have less privacy today than we did 40 years ago when I was a kid, 50 years ago when I was a kid. We didn't have cell phones. I'm to the point now I don't even answer my cell phone because I get so many robocalls. When I was a kid, the only way you could use the phone is a landline connected to your house. So when you left your house and went out and drove around the world, nobody knew where you were at. Well, now today, everybody knows where you're at because you're being pinged from a satellite or from some sort of tower, and you can't leave it alone. So you're already in this grid. And that's just the way it is. So just my thoughts. Sent another one. Okay. Take it down to 40,000. You can do it. You just don't have the balance. Okay. Take it down to $40. Okay. So you're familiar with Infinity Swap. Would you say take it down to $40? You can do it. You just don't have the balance to swap it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll add some money in it so we can play around with it tomorrow. But I'm just showing you that it's very difficult and it's very pricey, because I did one the other day. I bought Pancake Swap, and I think I gave about $50 for that transaction. And I'm just saying, with people with we're right now, you can do business on Coinbase, and it's basically effortless and almost costs no money to buy something on with Bitcoin on Coinbase. But when you start buying, doing stuff on the Ethereum blockchain, and I don't even use the Ethereum wallet anymore. I used to use it all the time. What is the Ethereum wallet? I got it on my iPhone. MetaMask. I used to use MetaMask all the time. I got tired of using it. It cost too much money, so I don't even use it anymore. In fact, I forgot the name. I pulled up my cell phone and even looked what it was. So thanks for their comment. Just my thoughts. Okay. So Golden Dragon, hello Kent. Yes, fees are crazy on Ethereum. Yes, they are crazy. And I'll show you tomorrow. I'll go actually do a transaction and show you. I'll pump some. I haven't put any money onto that Infinity wallet, but I will. And we'll see exactly how much it costs to. I'll find out exactly. Take it down to $40. You can do. Okay. I'll try that tomorrow. Just my thoughts. Okay, so just my thoughts gives me something else. But I don't like Ether either. This is the deal. Ethereum is going to be huge. I mean, it's going to be massive. It's probably going to tokenize the world. All assets will be on the blockchain. Real estate will be on the blockchain. Anything you own of value will be on a blockchain. And it's going to have to be the Ethereum blockchain because it's a smart contract platform. But it's not happening today or tomorrow. It's probably not happening this year. I don't think it's going to happen next year. So anybody that's jumping Bitcoin to get on Ethereum right now, I think you're ahead of the game, because believe me, we've been doing the CHL token for probably about probably about 5 years now. And we've got the application built. We've got lots of users. We're just starting to get into the point where it's starting to see some results. We've been at this for 5 years and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, we haven't spent anything like what's been spent on Ethereum or Bitcoin, but we spent a lot of money, our own money on this thing, and we still have yet to see any, really money come back to us. We've seen a lot of good work come back. A lot of people get excited about it and everything like that, but we haven't seen, any big, huge monetary gains from this thing. So I'm telling you, Ethereum's a ways out. Don't get too excited about it. So, but it will be something big. Just my thought says, basically, you were trying to swap it all and didn't save any. Yeah, you're right. I see what you're trying to say now. Yeah, I agree, but I don't think there was enough even to try to do that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I understand. I got it. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. Let me put some money on it. Let me put a few $100s on there. We'll do it tomorrow. So we'll find out. Is that a wallet that you're familiar with? Because it's the only one I could find that I could bring online that, had somewhat of understand. Most of them don't have good interfaces. So I chose the wallet that I don't really use that wallet that much. In fact, I haven't used it for years. So just my thoughts said. Basically, all those blockchain ETFs, Solanas, and all that are stored on Amazon. Oh, yeah, you're right. They are stored on Amazon. So, quick story. This is funny. Amazon Web Service. ICP has its own cloud storage. It needs Amazon. So, when we started doing block producing for EOS, we were going to be block producers. So we set up our own servers to do that and spent a lot of money. We found out most of the other block producers were just running it from Amazon Web Services. So all the EOS block producers, here we are, we're decentralized, we're in our own little universe, we're staying away from all the big guys, but everybody's running Amazon Web Services, hosting the all the stuff, the node for the EOS blockchain. So we found out real quick not to do that. You're spending I don't know how much it costs to run a node, but it's very expensive. But you can run it on Amazon Web Services. You're right about that. Most of those are run on Amazon Web Services. That's a good point. That's why I like doing these lives, because you get some good information. Somebody gave me some really good information the other day. I didn't know that. I think CoinDesk was owned by actually Block One. I didn't know that. And someone said, "Oh, that's Block One." I didn't know that. Checked it in. They were right. Because I've been watching CoinDesk information forever. Come to find out, it's Block One owns that. So, okay, just my thoughts. Well, good night, guys. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, we'll do some more. And you're bringing up good points. Just my thoughts. You sound like you know what you're talking about. I appreciate that. Okay, Golden 13 Dragon. I used Solana. I think, I'm hearing a lot of things about Solana. And actually, it's pretty funny because Solana is real close to where I'm at. Solana Beach is a very famous beach here in Southern California. It's right down the street from where I'm at. We're in Carlsbad, then you got Encinitas, and then you got Solana Beach. So those guys were from Qualcomm that developed Solana. The originators were from Qualcomm. But there's 3 or 4 of these altcoins that I'd be keeping my very close pay attention to. One of them would be Solana. Of course, Ethereum would be the other ones. But there's a lot of these altcoins that are very, very popular. They're going to be extremely valuable in the near future. So, hey, and I'll talk about this tomorrow because I do invest in some of these, not very large. I don't put any money that I can't afford to lose in them. And that means very small money because I don't like losing any money. I've lost too much money in that altcoin market. I don't want to lose any more. But don't fall for the trick of, hey, I'm going to sell my Bitcoin because now the news has happened with the ETFs and I'm going to go ahead and buy Solana. I wouldn't do that at this point. It's got a long way to go, especially with the gas fees and everything else. So anyway, I've had some nice comments tonight. I got a few people watching. So we are building an audience. I appreciate that. If you have any other questions, I'm going to probably start doing these about this time of night. I used to go on the streets and go out and make a video, but it's easier for me to just do it from the house. Plus, it's easier for me to get online and actually show you what I'm talking about by being able to go to the wallet and actually show you and having great feedback on maybe how I should do it different. I'll play around with that, just my thoughts a little bit, and we'll do something tomorrow. I'll put $100 on there and see what we can do. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thanks, Golden Dragon. Appreciate that. Put you up real quick. From now on, I'll know Golden 13 Dragon is a Solana person. So when I have any questions about Solana, I'll go to Golden 13 Dragon. Thanks. I appreciate it.